Morning guys, how are we doing? Today is a proper exciting day because I'm going to my local Ducati dealership to take out one of the new Streetfighter V2s. I'm so excited. I've been looking at these bikes for ages, just looking at them really. And I thought, well, instead of keep looking at them, why not go test ride one? They're there to be test ridden, so give one a go. So go drink my coffee, get myself kitted up. We'll jump on the Ducati because, well, we're going to a Ducati dealership and you should arrive with a Ducati, I think. Anyway, yeah, get kitted up, have me coffee, and we're going away.
Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets
How are you doing guys? Just to let you know, I have picked the bike up. Obviously, I've been for a little ride to begin with because I want to get used to the bike before I give you any my thoughts and feelings of it. Obviously, going from a Scrambler to the Streetfighter, they're very different bikes. So it'd be unfair to give you my opinion on it straight away. So I thought I'd go for a little ride first, get used to it, have a little bit of fun to begin with before the cameras roll in, which I have done. And yeah. I think I can give you an honest opinion on the bike right now. My first opinion is, God, it looks good. That is one sexy bike. There she is. This is the Ducati Streetfighter V2S model. What makes it different between the S and the standard one? The S comes with these awesome gold Öhlins front forks. And it also comes with the rear gold Öhlins. Now, one thing I do find quite frustrating, quite disappointing, to be honest with you, with this bike is the Öhlins suspension, front and rear, are manually adjustable only. You know, you spend quite a lot of money on this bike and you think it'd be electronically adjustable like a lot of bikes are now, this sort of price range. But no, unfortunately, it is manually adjustable. It's not difficult, it's not the end of the world. It's just something I think a little bit of a cop-out. Now moving on from the Öhlins suspension, this looks such a nice bike. Them underslung exhausts just look the part. I mean, I'm not overly keen on the way this this exhaust comes up under here. I mean, it covers the controversial swing arm, but still, and the actual pipes themselves aren't horrendous, but they just seem a bit plain and boring to me. So yeah, I mean if you get the Termagoni system, the full system, it does get rid of obviously the little cat and gets rid of all this pipe work. It all goes I believe inside there somewhere, so it all comes up underneath the bike. And obviously the Termies just look much better than a standard Gumpf. But yeah, I mean, just as a standard bike, I think it looks really smart. I'm also not very keen on this bit of silver. I just think that looks a little bit naff and a bit cheap, because I mean, obviously I kind of get it. I mean, you got the silver bit there, you got the engine silver, the exhaust is silver. I kind of get it, but I just think it I don't know, just have it black like the rest of this stuff, and I think it'll look much better. Another thing I'm not overly impressed with, to be honest with you, again, you spend a lot of money on this bike and these exhausts, the welds here just look a bit, I don't know, that just looks a bit naff. And there as well. And there, I mean, yeah, obviously the standard exhaust, but I just think the exhaust system itself, the welding isn't premium. But like I say, it doesn't really matter at the end of the world. I mean, you can get the Termagoni system, which obviously eradicates most of that. It doesn't get rid of the bit at the very front, which is a bit of a shame because it's probably the worst bit. But yes, it eradicates most of it. And yeah, I mean, I think that would look really, really good. And to be honest with you, if this was my bike, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be getting the full Termagoni system because although it looks good, it looks okay, my opinion is it sounds pretty naff. I'm sorry, I know some of the reviews I've watched, and obviously the journalisms and stuff like that. Journalists, they all say it sounds really good. And to be honest with you, the induction noise of this bike is so good. That is really, really good. But the exhausts sound quite lawnmower-y. It's probably the best way to describe it. So the cockpit of the bike, I do find these sort of switchgear seems a little bit cheap. Obviously you've got your cruise control sitting at the top there, all your mode buttons here and all that sort of stuff, your horn, your hazard lights. Switching to the other side, obviously you've got your start, button, your kill switch button, your day rain lights underneath there. And if you come around to the front of the bike here, this is your heated grips button. Now, yes, it has got the buttons for the heated grips and it's got the buttons for the cruise control. Unfortunately, very much like KTM, they don't come as standard, they're optional extras. So although they've got the buttons for them, the cruise control and the heated grips are optional extras. So can't tell you exactly how much they are at the moment. If I can find a price, I'll put them on the screen for you. But yeah, it is quite frustrating because all you've got to do is literally plug it in and switch them on. So the gumph and all the stuff is already installed in the bike, hence the buttons are there, but it's just frustrating that they don't come on the bike. You have to pay optional extras. And to have the buttons sitting there and they don't actually do anything is actually quite frustrating for me. So yeah, bit of a negative on that side of things. So the bike obviously comes with a 5-inch TFT display, really nice and clear, really easy to read. The bike comes with different mode settings. So it comes with 4 different mode options. You have the wet, and then you have the wet setup, so you can obviously adjust it to how you want it to be on the wet settings. You have the race mode, obviously fully adjustable by the race setup. You have the sport mode, surprise, surprise, sport setup. And you have road mode and road setup. Anyway guys, I will go through a few facts and figures for you right now. Like I said before in all my videos, it's not going to be in-depth facts and figures. There's stuff I think you're going to want to know as a potential buyer. So obviously we've got a Ducati Streetfighter V2S. Obviously you can get the V4 version, the V4S, blah, blah, blah. But I've took out the V2S just because I feel a V2 version of this bike is probably better for the roads and the V4 is probably better for track. I mean, looks-wise, the only difference between the V2 and the V4 is the wings on the side. The V4 comes with big wings, and I just think they're a bit pointless to the road. But other than that, there isn't a lot of difference looks-wise. It's mainly all about that engine. So let's get to the facts and figures then, shall we? So it comes with a 890cc 90-degree V2 engine, producing 120 horsepower and 93.3 Newton meters of torque, which is about 69 pound-foot of torque, if you want to know that. And to be honest with you, that is one of the things that everyone's complaining about at the moment. It's only 100 horsepower. But I'm going to be honest with you, that bike is not a slow bike. I've been having loads of fun on that today, and it is absolutely awesome. It may only be 120 horsepower, but I've said before, why would you need any more than that on the public roads? That, honestly, is absolutely amazing. I mean, the bike only weighs 176 kilograms. Obviously, that's Ducati stated without fuel, which is a bit random. So if you put fuel in it, add about 10 kilos, so 186 kilo. 186 kilo with 120 brake horsepower. Trust me, this ain't a slow bike. This is really, really quick. So not only is it really, really quick, it's actually really easy to move around. Obviously, if you want to make it a little bit lighter, you can add a Terramagoni, like I said earlier on, which reduces the weight by about 4.5 kilo, but gives you an extra 5.5 horsepower and roughly 4.5 pound-foot of torque extra. So it's a lot of money. I think the Terramagoni system for this bike, the full system, I think you're looking about £2,200. That's without fitting. So yes, it's quite expensive. But I just feel that it would make the bike sound way better than it actually does right now, because, I mean, I'll start it up in shortly and I'll let you hear it, but, I mean, yeah, I don't think it sounds very good at all. The bike comes with a up and down quick shifter, which works beautifully. I think you do have to be quite positive with the upshift, so if you're a bit lazy sometimes like I am, you just don't really give it a positive input. It sort of doesn't go into gear as smooth as it should do, but once you're actually used to the quick shifter and how it works, it is absolutely flawless. It is brilliant. Smooth as going up, smooth as going down, and I'm going to promote the Terramagonis again. I think with the Terramagonis on that, it's going to sound awesome going down the box. The bike also comes with Brembo front and rear brakes. I'm not going to go into detail what they are. I can just tell you they are very, very good. I've used them a few times, obviously coming down here quite heavily to see how good they are, and they are really, really good brakes. So yeah, Olin suspension, Brembo brakes, 120 horsepower, weighs nothing. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal bike. I am really, really impressed with it. So I think another thing you might want to know is the seat height of the bike. It comes in at 837mm high, which isn't terrible. I mean, I'm 5'10" with about 32-inch seam, and I can reach the floor on it quite fine. I'm pretty much flat-footed, basically flat-footed. And the last thing I think you want to know is the fuel tank. It comes with a 15-litre fuel tank. I would guess you're going to get around about 140 miles out to a tank on that. Maybe a little bit less if you're riding it very spiritedly everywhere. But yeah, I reckon 140 miles would be realistic. Yeah, what I'll do now is I'll start the bike up, let you listen to it, and then we'll go for a little ride. So welcome back on board the bike, ladies and gents. You can see it's a nice little place to be. So talking from my point of view, I am leaning forward ever so slightly, not massively. My knees are quite high up. Again, not massively, it's not uncomfortable. I haven't felt at any point uncomfortable on this bike. My wrists haven't been hurting. So yeah, I'd say ergonomic wise, it's actually a very nice place to be. I do find the handlebars on this bike really, really wide, which isn't the end of the world either, because it's sort of, I mean, it's very, very easy to handle. I mean, it's like riding a housefly really, because the minute you point it somewhere, that's it, it's going. Which is obviously really helped by these big handlebars. So to give you an idea, I'm doing just shy of 40 miles an hour in 4th gear. The bike is so smooth, I'm not getting any jerkiness, I'm not feeling it sort of hunting or anything at all. It's really, really nice and smooth. Hopefully you heard that. That was the awesome induction noise this bike's got. Like I say, the exhaust itself isn't that great, but this induction noise is it's really, really good. That noise sounds so good. So the comfort of the bike then, I mean, this seat isn't the most comfortable seat I've ever sat on, but in all honesty, the sort of position you're in is actually okay. I've never been riding the bike now for quite a while, and my backside isn't hurting at all. I don't feel uncomfortable on it. So yeah, I've got to be honest, the comfort of this bike is actually really nice. Mirrors, the mirrors, they're good, they're fine, they work really well. I mean, you can see quite a lot out of them. I just find they're a little bit too big. Again, if it was my bike, they'd be gone. I'd be putting bar end mirrors on this, just because I think the look of the bike deserves to have sort of bar ends. But practicality wise, they are actually very good mirrors. So obviously, if you're looking at the V2S versus the standard V2, price ranges, I think there's about £1,000 difference in the price range. The V2S, I believe, starts at 16,000, and the V2 standard starts at 15,000. If I'm wrong, that'll be on the screen. So yeah, if you're looking at spending an extra £1,000, you are basically spending an extra £1,000 on the Odin suspension. Obviously the V2S, which this bike is, it doesn't come with a rear pillion seat and really pillion pegs. It is just basically a one-person bike, but you can obviously buy a pillion seat and pillion pegs to bolt onto it if you wanted to. Not the end of the world, but as it comes as like a single-person bike. And what I like about this bike is the torque starts at about 3,000 RPM, so you've got torque all the way through the rev range. And for me, I mean, obviously I've been riding straight 4-cylinder bikes for a long time. I had the V4 and that was a phenomenal bike, but having that having that torque starting at about 3,000 RPM, which I think we want to beat about this bike, because it is only 120 horsepower, only 120 horsepower. I feel having that torque as soon as you get it just makes the bike so much fun. So you don't feel you need loads of horsepower at the top end because you've got loads of low down torque. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this bike. I like it a lot. Listen. See, who says this bike's slow? This is not a slow bike by any means. Roadkill, let's avoid that, shall we? That induction noise though, how good is that induction noise? Listen to that! It sounds so good. Just wish it had some nice exhaust to go with it as well. It's the only thing that really lets this bike down. It looks good, the induction noise sounds good, just needs some nice exhaust. And that's where the Termies come in, I believe. Oh, I do like this bike a lot. It is really good fun. So, would I recommend this bike to anybody? I would recommend this bike to everybody. It is such a good bike. I mean, 120 horsepower, yeah, fine, whatever. You can whinge your money about it as much as you like. It is more than enough power for the UK roads, for definite. Plenty of low down torque, comfortable, nice seating position, nice riding position, looks good, sounds pretty good with induction noise. It would sound even better with Termies. Yeah, I'd recommend one. In actual fact, I recommend one so much so I bought one, and not just any one, the test ride one. Wasn't quite a test ride, it was more the fact that I was actually picking this up today. So when I said would I recommend one, yes, definitely. They're absolutely brilliant. See you in the next video.